Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one to one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me.
Hey.
Your organization is looking stressed.
What?
And now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed. And now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Episode 41, live from 1990 Studios in Toronto, Canada. Welcome into another episode of The Rewind, brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. Monty Moss alongside my co-host in studio, BG Bryant Garvin. And Bryant, from the nasty, mean streets of Newark, New Jersey to Easton, Pennsylvania to 7 hours to getting here to Toronto, Canada to 1990 Studios. We are here, and God's grace, we've made it here safe. What's good, man?
My ass is sore from the drive. You know what I mean? Because you didn't want to drive.
That's not true.
Yeah, that is true.
That is not true.
Okay, that is true.
I offered.
You offered. You
said
at the
no.
5th hour. I'm not one to keep going.
2 hours you can relax.
That's just what it is.
2 hours you could relax.
It's just what it is.
2 hours you could relax.
No, hey, look, 2 hours. My ass was sore and it was numb.
Okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't feel my legs. So as soon as we stopped and got something to eat, you know, the circulation came to my ass, and then I was able to move. So we're good.
Welcome back. For those out there that, if you haven't, please like, subscribe to our YouTube channel at @3one_GSC3, as well as follow us on all of our social media platforms at @3one_GSC3. We got a special episode for you guys tonight. Our first episode live from our dog Chris, who is a fellow Ohio State Buckeye, but we, Brian and myself, have came to invade 1990 Studios with a little Michigan Wolverine love, knowing that we have the Buckeyes next Saturday, but we won't get to that just yet. But if you guys don't know who this guy is next to me, he's Chicago's finest. He's Temple alum. He's a 4-time state champion in his co-head coaching career. He's won over 400 career games, and he's coached both football and basketball. And he knows that I'll be inducted into the Newark Hall of Fame in 1985 is the year that Harry Snyder is going to vote me in. But he's a Newark Hall of Famer, BG Brian Garvin, episode 41. And Bryant, Chris, and myself, and Jayla. That's right, I said Jayla, a.k.a. Kirby. We put something together special for you tonight because we knew the importance of this episode. We knew that this was going to be pretty big for you personally, you know, making the drive up here. And I talked to Chris earlier. I said, hey, man, I got this idea. I was actually on my way to your house. And I said, I got this idea. And I called Jayla, and we got everything squared away. So we want to just pretty much say surprise to you. And we want to say our appreciation, how much we love you. So, Chris, if you can hook this up for Bryant, that'll be fantastic because I know you're gonna love it. I know you're gonna love it, and I hope you enjoy. From the bottom of me and Kirby's heart. Me and Kirby's heart. Mama Garvin, happy 75th birthday.
You know, I don't like you guys.
Kirby.
That is my mom, man. That is and I'm not going to be in tears on this show, but that's
talk to me about that moment, man.
That person right there is my mother, Laura Garvin, and you know, she's had a very difficult time and a difficult life, and you know, and I've talked to a lot of my athletes about her over the past 26 years, and she that's my rock, and I fight hard for her life since since 1984, since I was 14 years old. So I'm here now, I'm 55, and everything that I do is her survival. So, man, she made it 75 years, and I hope she makes it another 15 to 20. That would be a blessing, a true blessing. But I just want to say, happy birthday, Mom. You're out here live to the world now.
Global.
This is global.
You're a global, Grandma. Happy 75th.
And Jayla, you are something special. I love you, boo. You drive me crazy, but I take it all. And your brother here, he's a pain in my ass too, but I love both of you like no other. So it's just what it is. And it's something that's just really, really special. And you guys, thank you for doing this for me.
No problem, man. We also put together this past Monday was my grandma's heavenly birthday. So Shout out to my mom who gave me the idea today. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that today. So I figure if I put both together, it'll blend the way it's supposed to. So Janice Patricia Moss, thank you so much for all you've done for me, playing all 5 positions in my life, raising me without a father figure. You know, they said that a woman can't raise a man how to be a man. I certainly disagree with that statement, by the way.
They can. They can up to a certain point, but they get us to a point where we can navigate through life the right way and how to treat a woman. But then we do need our fathers. Fathers is very important, and it's something that that is needed by all children. So, but you have some women out here that playing both roles.
They are.
And
shout out to them.
Fantastic job.
Shout out to them. Happy birthday, Grandma. I love you. Episode 41. We're going to do the thing. Happy birthday to Mama Garvin, Big 75 down in the good old dangerous streets of Chicago. Gotta love it. So, yes. Kirby, mission complete, mission accomplished. We got him, but we're going to keep this thing going. If you didn't know, Brian, also that today is International Men's Day. And being a man in this world isn't easy. It's growth, accountability, healing, and learning how to show up for yourself first. So here's to the men who are trying, who are evolving, and becoming better version of themselves every day. So happy International Men's Day to you and to our dog, Chris, in 1990 Studios, who's getting ready to be a father soon. Expecting his firstborn in December. Congratulations, Chris. We love Chris. You. And I hope that baby will be a Michigan baby, not a Buckeye.
Hey, Chris, we can't go to no more clubs, man.
You're done. No more clubs. Over. It's a wrap, brother.
It's over.
It's a wrap. But you ready to get tonight started?
Yes, sir.
We got a lot to talk about. Yes, and I know I may piss some people off, but that's just okay. That's just what I do. If you ain't pissing people off in the sports content or sports broadcasting or podcast world, something's wrong. And you've pissed people off every week with your hot take, which I look forward to tonight. But let's get our first guest in here. If you don't know, this brother is by the name of Coach Arthur Washington. He's a multi-sport athlete and trainer with experience in boxing, baseball, and football. He's boxed as both an amateur and professional before becoming a trainer for athletes across the state of Georgia. He pitched for Georgia State University from 1985 to 1986 as a relief and closer pitcher and played semi-pro football with the Forest Park Vikings, winning 4 straight SFL championships from 1984 to 1988, earning SFL MVP in 1988, and currently the head coach of the Georgia Falcons. Known for his leadership and player development, he remains a respected figure in Georgia athletics. So, Bryant, without our further ado, it's our honor, our privilege to welcome in UGA's finest, go Dogs, Mr. Arthur Washington. Welcome into episode of the Rewind 41. Blessed to have you. Blessed to see you. How are everything on your end in the good old state of Georgia?
Man, well, the Falcons have kind of sputtering for us. But if you tune into the Hawks as of late, you'll see them playing some really good basketball. You know, between the Hawks and the Dogs, we're going to be okay.
Well, as a person that really doesn't have any high hopes for the Atlanta Hawks, especially if they want to make a postseason run, I'm definitely all in on the Georgia Bulldogs winning last week. So go Dogs, right?
Yeah,
I like Trae Young though. I do like Trae Young. But he's got to go.
I'm never, a Georgia fan, but even though I have family there in Georgia, but I like this team. They're under the radar and they coming out here.
Number 4 in the country.
Hey man, they open up a can of whoop ass. They lost a game here, but I think they're going to be there in the finals. I was saying that to Monty in the car. So
yes, you have.
Let's see what happens. Let's see we're going to see.
We're going to see. Well, if you didn't know, for everyone out there, the first 4 seeds, when this is all said and done with the college football playoff, they will have a first round bye. So they won't have to worry about trading blows with each other just yet and until the second round of the college football playoff, which would be pretty interesting. And yes, Chris, I know the Ohio State Buckeyes will be first round bye, also being one of the top 4 seeds. I will admit that publicly in front of the world. So don't say here and say I'm a Ohio State hater or a Buckeye hater. I'm just enjoying the ride that we've been on for the last 4 years, getting ready to be 5 at the big house in 2 weeks. I'm just saying. Our second guest we're getting ready to bring on is a person that I truly love and admire and respect in the professional training industry. I see him pretty much 3 to 4 times a week whenever I go to the gym to work out. He's a student of the game, and he's a sick freak athlete. You should see him when he works out in the morning. Typically around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, you can catch him doing his workout. I mean, he's just jacked up. He does all these different like weird like stretches, and he's like taking all this different stuff. And, I mean, he just goes there and kills. I mean, for chest day, I mean, I was like, how many 45 plates do you need on the bar to like, are you okay? I mean, he goes hard.
You ask everybody how they go hard in the weight room.
Of course.
Except for you.
No, I'm in there. I pay dues, brother.
Yeah.
Ask about me. Let's get Brian on in here, a fellow diehard New York Giant football fan. He's joining us first time on the Rewind, episode 41. Brian, what's good, brother? I just saw you this morning, but it's good to see you again tonight on the Rewind. What's good, brother?
How y'all doing? Thanks for having me.
What's going on, B?
I'm doing pretty good.
Uh-oh.
Football tip, Giants, Florida State fan, college football.
Uh-oh.
Fire Mike Norvell.
Ooh.
Looking forward to basketball right now. I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm a college basketball. I like Duke.
Go Duke. The Dukies.
Yeah,
You got the Boozer twins. They look pretty good so far to start.
Definitely.
The girls basketball team don't look too good.
Coach Lawson, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They lost to
Half the players were suspended at halftime before the first half was over.
Yeah.
And they lose.
Yeah.
And they only had 7 players.
Yeah. No,
5. No bench. No bench. Gotta love it. Brian, if you want, we don't have to invite your brother. We can just do it with this right here. I'm cool with that. I know Jamar was like it was like a little bit miscommunication, and I just wanted to make it work for everybody to bring this thing organically fluid together. And I just saw Jamar on Saturday, and he was like, Jamar almost wasn't going to come on tonight.
Really?
He was like, no, I'm not. I'm just going to let my brother get all the shine. He never been on an episode. Yeah, I was like, personally, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'll take Mr. Arthur, Coach Washington. I'll take Brian. We'll make it work. And then I was like, you know what, Jamar, just come on, because with your Dallas Cowboys just winning recently on Monday night against the Raiders, I need to hear why you think that they're going to make the playoffs. I need answers.
Yeah, I need answers too.
If it wasn't for that, he wasn't coming on. But get him in here. Let's welcome him back. Jamar Key is in the house, making his second return to the Rewind. He was on earlier in the year, back when Garv came on this platform and said that Colorado would finish with how many wins?
I said 4. I said 4 and 8.
4 and 8.
Right now they are what?
I don't know. They have 3 wins?
3 and 7, I think it is.
I'm just curious.
You have to check that out.
I have to.
I know. Because you were like 6 and 6. And
I said 6 wins.
Yes,
I was okay with that.
I know you were, but too bad you were wrong.
That's okay. Hey, every once in a while you miss one.
You missed several.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the fact that you said that you wouldn't lose another Thursday night game, and you've already lost one since saying that publicly. We can go back and rewind the tape.
NFL, man, potato. The college game. I can dissect that pretty well. My ex players, because I've coached him in football. I coached Brian in football, coached Jamar in basketball, which is kind of funny here, but I've coached both of them, so they know I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Well, we're not questioning if you know what you're talking about or not. But Jamar, how are you? Episode 41. Welcome in to your second time being here. How's it feel being back? Because it's a privilege to return, a privilege. But you're one of the chosen few. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Thanks for having me up here. With Brian and Arthur. I'm ready, man.
Oh man. The last time Cowboys fans said he was ready, it didn't work out too well.
No, I'm upset. I'm really upset.
Why are you upset?
Because the Cowboys look like the second coming of Jesus Christ. On what was that, Thursday night or Monday night football? Monday night football. The Raiders. And I was so pissed that the fact that Gentry only had 7, 8, 9 yards, and he's averaging 1.9 yards a carry. Just disgusting. I mean, that offensive line for the Raiders. You can put Eastside High School offensive line there and basically do the same thing, and they don't even have a team right now. No. It's just what it is. Yeah. So it's just a bad showing, and I'm taking Gentry out. I'm putting my other guys in there. I can't do it.
Well, he finished with 14 yards rushing on 4 carries.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Just absolutely terrible.
We'll talk about the Cowboys in just a bit, but let's get into it, folks. Episode 41, The Rewind. We're breaking down last Thursday night's victory, where Bryant and myself both won, even though Bryant wanted the Jets to win, and that's New England Patriots taking care of business at home. 27-14 was your final. Coming into this game, I said that the Patriots would win in stunning fashion. I said that Drake May would throw for 2 touchdowns in my locks. I was wrong. He threw 1. But I did say Henderson would be an anytime touchdown scorer. He got in the end zone twice, both rushing and then 1 receiving. But if you look at this New England Patriots for the last few weeks, Bryant, we're I know it's the Jets. The Jets are irrelevant, at 2-8. But I'm just saying, you got to be impressed with what you've seen from Mike Vrabel and Drake May, who's still in the MVP conversation. 281 yards passing, do 1 touchdown, took care of the football. Stephon Diggs over 100-yard receiving. I guess the Jets do miss Sauce Gardner after all because, that's just what the Jets secondary looks like, and that's trash. Your thoughts?
I can't give the Patriots any praise yet. They really haven't shown me much of what they can do versus a great team.
The Bucks?
This year, let's just call it what it is. The NFL is full of a lot of injuries, more than you have ever seen in an NFL, period, especially since they changed the rules. So now you're playing there with 2nd and 3rd tier players, and then now you're playing bad teams. The Bucks, okay, I give you that one. But other than that,
the Bills?
No. What's the Bills' record?
Why does that matter?
What it matters. They're
7-5.
They're playing terribly. They're starting to play better now. Look at Baltimore. They were playing terrible. They're playing better now because of these injuries, man. It is so bad. College football is bad. Everything is bad because the stupid rules. They have to bring football back. Literally, you have to. It's making no sense of how, if you fall down, they breaking a pinky, and next thing you know, it goes from a pinky to a separated shoulder.
Okay.
It makes no sense. So if you bring back regular football and you can actually tackle the damn quarterback, guess what? It'll be a different story. Maybe not. Who knows? But I'm impressed with the quarterback, but I'm not impressed with overall team yet.
Okay. For those of you that didn't know, the Patriots on an 8-game win streak. We're currently 9-2, first in the AFC East. Mm-hmm. Arguably one of the best teams in the NFL when it's all said and done. We will have a first-round bye. I'm confident in that. And I'm also confident that it runs through New England, just like the good old days back in the Brady-Belichick era. But, Jamar, you've seen the Jets this year. You've talked about – I know we talked about it Saturday at High End about the transition of Sauce Gardner going to Indy. The Jets, of course, are rebuilding for next year, but are you surprised with the way the Jets lost on Thursday night against the Patriots?
Absolutely not. The Jets have just been terrible all year. They just haven't been able to get over the hump. The quarterback Fields, this was supposed to be like a fresh start for him, and he struggled, but overall, the team just doesn't look good. Sauce is gone. I think it really doesn't matter if he's gone or not. They were bad with him, and they're going to be even worse without him.
No worries on that, my fellow Patriots fans. We have the Bengals upcoming on Sunday on the road. Will be an interesting matchup, but I look forward to seeing the Patriots go to 10-2 and improve to a 9-game winning streak. So that way we can just keep this train rolling and dominate the AFC East as once we have done before. Bills and Bucks. Go ahead, Arthur.
Yeah, I have a question. My Falcons played them, and we arguably came out on top. We just got finished playing the Patriots. We went up to Foxborough, and for all intents and purposes, we beat them. And we're talking about we had a seriously good team. We're missing 3 of our first-string offensive linemen. We're missing our number 1 middle linebacker. That game would have stuffed y'all something fierce if Divine Diablo was in the middle of that game. Because even with the subs, we kind of shut him down, and the guy missed the field goal. It doesn't make any sense. We had to cut him from the team. Finally we're doing some action. And we're not dragging it out. So the guy missed the field goal. Extra point. Would we kick an extra point? We stop y'all streak at what, 7? You got
6. I'm sorry.
And we did real ugly to the Bills. We played Bills. My team, this is, as I was explaining to Jamar, that the Falcons, because everybody's calling for Raheem. And it's not just because I'm a coach. I don't want to see Raheem go. He's an affable guy. What happens is, in this game that we know and love, there's no way that you're going to win or prosper if 5 of your top money slots on your professional football team are not on the field. And that's the way that they've been playing. So, all the people.
Hang on, Brian.
No, I agree.
To his point, Penix threw 3 touchdowns that game.
Okay.
He had a pretty clean game offensively. Defensively, they forced 2 turnovers from Drake May through 2 interceptions.
Okay.
They couldn't stop Demario Douglas, who had over 100 yards receiving that game, and they lost by 1.
But I get it. But
I understand the injuries part.
What he's saying, that if he have your solid football team offensively and defensively, the Patriots lose that game.
It's just what it is.
The quarterback did what he was supposed to do. But as a linebacker coach, and Raheem is from Jersey, right?
Correct.
And he went to Irvington High School, right?
Essex County. Yep.
Right. So at the end of the day, I coached against Raheem, which is kind of crazy. But yet, I coached against him in high school. And understanding that, that Mike linebacker is the most important piece to a defense. If you take him out, then everything is in shambles.
Well, I find it hard to believe because the 49ers lost Fred Warner and they're still winning games.
Yeah, but 49ers is the 49ers.
I'm just saying.
It's what it is.
Fred Warner is their number 1 guy.
They're finding ways to win games.
And the Falcons can't. They're 3-7.
We don't have the depth. We don't have the depth that the 49ers have. The 49ers have serious depth.
Yes.
I'm not away. But when you say, what happened, I guarantee you, if we had Matthews and we had our regular right tackle and right guard in there, we would have been able to plow the field and run Bijan. Robinson would have done something. Algier would have done something. The team's fighting off the backside, and fans, have some pitchforks out. The media down here has the pitchforks out for Raheem, and I'm like, I would never let a guy go who we've only got blown out 1 time, and that's against Carolina. That was a despicable loss, but you're going to have those. But we were in every game that we played. And if you look at it, coming out of that halftime against the Patriots, we shut him down. Mr. May did not look like he was comfortable, and nothing was happening. Kid missed the field goal.
You guys won by. See, this is the bad part: is that you won by 1.
I would love like 20 minutes alone to just break this game down for Coach Washington and tell him why the Patriots won. But I don't have 20 minutes to break it down and tell him why we won. He's not wrong, right? Look, flip side to it is even if they are at full strength, maybe their record's not 3-7, maybe it's 4-6, maybe it's 5-5 like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Come on now. Come on, man.
Look,
I don't think really worry about Kirk Cousins.
Look. The Bears is 7-3.
That's another thing. What happens is the locker room is paramount. What the Falcons should have done was cut Kirk Cousins and eat that money. And then what happens is once we cut Kirk Cousins, now our radar is up for a quality backup. And when New England let Joe Milton go, we should have been all over him. He should be down here in Atlanta. I watched him in the preseason, and that last game he played 4 quarters with Dallas. He looked like the real good professional quarterback. And that's what we need now, because I don't know if the guys are going to stop it around. We're playing the Saints. We have the same weekend. Don't know the guys that go rally around somebody. They don't feel anything about the team. Stuff that should be in-house.
Unfortunately, he's a backup in Dallas, and I'm sure Jamar can give us some reasons on Prescott. Not sure, but let's fast forward, Brian. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills and Tampa Bay Bucks. This past Sunday, 44-32 was your final. Bills improved to 7-3. Every win from this point on in the season is crucial for the Buffalo Bills if they want to catch New England or if they want to be a wild card team at minimum for this year's upcoming NFL playoff season. But it was a shootout to say the least, Bryant. Both these teams were trading blows in the first half, but you got to give credit to Buffalo. Offensively, Josh Allen, his offense just found ways to score, not also in the third quarter, but scoring 13 points in the fourth. Well,
it's a state of emergency. I mean, you have these two teams with Buffalo Bills and Baltimore. They can't lose. You can't lose anymore. And if they lose a game, they putting themselves at risk and have to depend on other teams to win or lose games. So you don't want to put yourself in that type of situation. You already put yourself behind the 8-ball early in the season. Now, it's going to be hit or miss if their players are hurt, injured, or whatever it may be. Now you have to play hero ball. And that's what Josh Allen basically got himself caught up in, was trying to play hero ball early on. And now you got a couple of injuries in there. Now you got to play hurry up and try to win football games. They almost kind of tanked this one, but yet they pulled it out in the fourth quarter and pretty much dominated. But they got some gaps in there defensively that they need to fill.
They do. And I think an important part, what people probably didn't notice, like, wow, Buffalo scored 44. We haven't seen that probably since week 1 when they played Baltimore without having Keon Coleman, who they suspended because he missed practice, he missed film.
The attitude, man.
And he's acting like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, the attitude is disgusting. So I can't coach that.
Buffalo says, like, all right, despite this, we're gonna play you on Sunday. And then Coach McVay said, you know what, you're not playing on Sunday. It's like, you're done. Don't stop. But looking at Buffalo this past Sunday, they did look good. They looked like the Bills that we saw in week 1, and that's getting the football out early from Josh Allen. I mean, he had over 300 yards passing this past Sunday. Offense looked really good. They looked really in sync. I mean, we've seen the similar holes of Tampa struggles against New England, and I'm sure Buffalo probably looked at the tape and saw what the Patriots were doing that was successful. And they did a little bit of the same thing when you saw, especially Josh Allen from play action on the run. I mean, he got his guys involved. Shavers have over 90 yards receiving. I mean, I haven't seen this guy step up in the last few weeks. So if you're a Buffalo Bills fan moving on to 7-3, you got to be impressed. But Brian, let me get your take on this because you are in the NFC, but you know what it's like to sneak and get in. Do you see the Buffalo Bills at any particular point in this season sneaking to get into maybe winning the AFC East or getting in as a wild card in the AFC?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Either way wouldn't be surprising because they like seesaw. I don't understand what's really going on. I know their defense is horrible now. They over the last few years, they little by little, different people have left. I know they tagged one of the safeties. I know both the safeties are gone. Like High and Poyer are both gone. They never really solidified that spot. And just as a whole, a team, they could beat anybody, and then at some time they can lose anybody. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make a run. And I don't think they did anything during the trade deadline to try to help the defense. So Josh Allen's going to have to be Superman the rest of the season if they're going to really make any type of noise, playoff push.
Brian, you're not lying. And one thing's for certain and two things for sure. The Patriots have the Bills up in a few weeks, and that'll be 2-0 that the Patriots will beat the Bills this season. And that's going to be all she wrote because I'm just tired of what I'm hearing from Bills Mafia fans. Nothing against Bill Mafia because I want no trouble with Bills Mafia. But I'm embracing all the smoke as well, being the New England Patriots sitting at where we're sitting at. So, Brian, you know that's going to be a game that I have circled already on my calendar. And this is going to be a true test again, I think, for Drake May and this Patriots offense because the Bills, of course, normally most of the time when Brady was there, we beat them twice in a year or, recent years we split the series 1-1. But I look forward to seeing Mike Vrabel and Drake May go 2 up on the Bills and pretty much just seal a deal for the AFC East?
I'm going for the Bills.
I know you are.
Yeah, of course. One, it's because I hate the Patriots.
I know.
And two, I want to be able to get home safe because we right by Buffalo, and I can't get down that goddamn highway, going right through Buffalo, and then someone sees us, and they got some little psycho sitting out there in the woods, and next thing you know, they shooting at the car. So go Bills.
Go Bill. You know what? For the sake of the border, go Patriots. We're gonna show the quick early playoff picture if the season were to start today. Here are the standings after Week 11. You see the Denver Broncos sitting at 9-2, the New England Patriots at 9-2 also. Wow. Colts are 8-2, Steelers are 6-4, Bills are 7-3, Chargers are 7-4. So we see a lot of teams. Then on the NFC side, despite how sloppy the Eagles have been lately, they are sitting at 9-2. Rams at 9-2, who I think has one of the hottest offenses, Matthew Stafford. The Chicago Bears, well, I'll be damned, 8-3. Never thought I'd see the day the Bears will have a winning record at this point in the season, but Ben Johnson's done a hell of a job. Then you see the Bucs at 6-4, losing back-to-back games. Seahawks lost to the Rams recently at 7-3, Green Bay at 7-4, and then San Fran taking care of business against Arizona at 6-4. So, fellas, looking at these standings after Week 11, what are some teams that you guys like that possibly be a surprise to end the season going into the playoffs? Arthur, I'll start with you.
Well, I believe that the Bills will their way into the playoffs. Unfortunately, I've got them meeting the usual suspects in the Ravens and the usual exit from the Bills. Denver is going to be, after their first round bye, they're more than likely going to lose the next game.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I have to give props to the Eagles, even though I withdrew my support from the Eagles 2 years ago because of lackluster focus and play on a professional squad. They've gotten their stuff together, and those guys are pretty vicious when they. That last Super Bowl against Kansas City was a beatdown for the record books. Those guys showed you that. I would have liked to see them play against another hot Super Bowl team,
Jamar, I'll go with you. We got the Broncos, Chargers, Dolphins, and Commanders on a bye this upcoming Sunday. But what are some teams you like from the standings here? Do you think this holds out, or do you see someone like San Francisco or possibly Jacksonville with beating the Chargers recently? Do you see any of those teams making a late push to get into the playoffs?
I was surprised at Jacksonville. They made some slight improvements, and as you can see, they dominated the Chargers from the start. So it's possible that they can get in. They look like they have momentum over the Chargers right now. As far as San Fran, San Fran has had an up and down season. Injuries, which is a part of the game. So I think San Fran is going to go on a slide. I don't see them getting in. Green Bay, I think they have a slighter edge to get in, but San Fran is just hasn't been consistent. It's been a rough year injury-wise for them. For most teams, but I don't see San Fran.
I agree with that. Brian, there's two teams that's not on this list after Week 11, and it's the New York Football Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, from what you see here posted with the standings after Week 11, what are some teams you think that could possibly make a push, or what are some teams up here that you've been excited to see and impressed with so far through 11 weeks of the season so far?
I would say the team I'm most impressed with is the Colts. I really didn't see that coming at all. Not because of Daniel Jones, because I honestly thought that with the right system and a line, he wouldn't be great, but he wouldn't be a bad quarterback. He was in a horrible situation over there with us. I'm surprised at Denver. I don't think Denver's going to last too many come from behind wins. Like, I don't see it. The Jacksonville Jaguars are sneaky. The was that the wide receiver they picked? Was it Jacoby Myers?
Jacoby Myers from the Vegas Raiders, who I got in fantasy.
That's the sneaky. A lot of people don't really pay him any mind. He's not like a real household name, but he's a very good wide receiver. He like a security blanket for a quarterback. So
he is.
That was like a very big pickup. Very big.
It was. It was.
The NFC side, I like the Rams.
Ooh, so do I. So do I. I mean, Matthew Stafford, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions so far in the year. This is another win at home, improving. And you know, actually, I'm going to save this for later because I don't want to give it away too early. But, yes, I'm impressed with the Rams also. Jacoby Myers is a former Patriot, by the way, if you didn't know. But now he's now a Jacksonville Jaguar. But let's talk about, Brian, your Chicago Bears going into Minnesota, taking another victory in the Ben Johnson era in year one, improving to 8-3. And that's 19-17 over the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings offensively, Brian, looked very, very, very horrible with J.J. McCarthy. We saw the frustration this past Sunday with Justin Jefferson on the sideline and his antics. I don't blame him. But if you're the Chicago Bears, you got to be impressed going in there, take care of business. Despite Caleb Williams not throwing any touchdowns or interceptions, he took care of the football. DeAndre Swift had over 90 yards rushing on the ground, and pretty much it was a smash mouth kind of defensive game. You guys were able to get up the field in the third down, which you guys are pretty good at. We talked about that last week, you guys being top 5 in the league. Coming into this game, we're getting up the field at third down. But how impressed are you, Brian, as a Chicago Bears fan at 8-3? Because in week 3, you didn't have a clue what the Bears were going to be. You was like, I don't know. We got to see this week in and week out, week by week analysis. The run game's been pretty much leading away. DeAndre Smith getting back to his DeAndre Swift ways, being healthy and rushing, being the force behind that offensive line who you disagreed with earlier on in the season, weren't a fan of them, but you got to be happy with what you've seen from the offensive line these last few weeks.
Well, it's like I was saying, I think they heard me, and I put it on Facebook, and someone gave a nice little they care about them running the football. You can't win football games without running the football. It's just what it is. So, you know, the rookie basically kind of paved the way for DeAndre because he was worried that he's going to lose his job. So now he came back in and basically did his thing. And, you know, and the Bears are heading in the right direction. I don't like the way they're winning. That fourth quarter heart attack type deal is not a good way to win football games. They've done it 3 weeks in a row. You're not going to beat good teams that way. You're just not. Good teams are going to put you away, and then you're going to want to play from behind on a continuous basis. So playing from behind, the Bears are not good at. They're cardiac winners. They win in at the last minute. But if you're down 2 touchdowns, and you know Caleb is going to fold, and you can see the attitude in his face. So I have some concerns still. I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I don't think they are going to be contenders. It's kind of hard to say who's going to be contenders because you know everybody's hurt, everybody's banged up. So I can't pick and choose who's going to be in the Super Bowl, in the finals, in the playoffs. It's just a wait and see type moment.
So give us a preview, if you can, quickly with being home this upcoming Sunday with Pittsburgh coming into town, knowing that pretty much is a must-win game for Pittsburgh, knowing that Baltimore is 1 game behind, you know, since they've been on a win streak for their bye. What are some of your keys to the game for this upcoming game with Pittsburgh coming to town? Well,
the Pittsburgh's quarterback is out and hurt. So basically the Bears are going to win this game. You just can't have a guy that's unknown coming in there and that just basically pretty much dominate the game fresh. So I know the Bears is going to scheme up some things against a different quarterback. Their tendencies are off right now because you haven't seen them, but yet you know I think the Bears will come up again in the fourth quarter and wind up winning this again because of the situation. First half is going to be rocky.
Yeah, quick stats for you guys out there. The Bears so far this year are ranked 2nd in the league in rushing, averaging over 146 at this current particular time in the league, as well as 2nd and getting off the field on third down. So back-to-back weeks, the Bears have been successful. You guys pretty much made life a little bit hell for J.J. McCarthy last Sunday. I mean, he threw 2 interceptions. The defense, you couldn't have asked for anything better so far. But seeing Ben Johnson week in and week out, he's getting more accustomed to being in that head coaching seat. He's getting that rhythm going with the offense. And the locker room, more than anything, has improved from what you guys had last year with Matt Everbus, who's now the defensive coordinator of Jamar's Dallas Cowboys, who give up the most points in the league. So how excuse me, how impressed have you been in year one with Ben Johnson so far, mid-year evaluation?
But Ben Johnson has a locker room, and everybody's rallying behind him. I love his energy after a game. He pretty much gives everybody a game ball who deserves it. I kind of like the locker room previous coach before Everbust was ever there. I forgot the other coach's name, but he also had the locker room his first year, and it just basically fell apart. Right. So I'm with Ben. I'm just looking for some consistency here.
You getting it?
Yeah. No, consistency meaning if you don't win in the playoffs here, what happens the following year? Year two. Okay. That's very important. The sophomore year of coaches is the make or break. Yeah. It basically tells you if you're going to get hired or fired later on down the line.
Yeah, and you guys are currently on a 3-game win streak, but I want to turn the table over to Arthur and Jamar. Arthur, let me get your insight on this because, we talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, who a lot of people had the Los Angeles Chargers to come into this game and win this past Sunday, but they got annihilated 35-6. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags pretty much did anything and everything that they wanted to accomplish. Trevor Lawrence was also pretty good, even though he didn't have flashy numbers. He did throw 1 touchdown, had 1 interception. Tootin had 74 yards in the carry. Travis Etienne, who's been a fantasy football hero for me, he had 2 touchdowns. I'll take it. And Jacoby Myers, who's Bryant talked about, has been a sleeper. More importantly, a security blanket with the loss of Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball. But pretty good win for Jacksonville. Shocked a lot of people. Shocked me. What was your reaction to the Jacksonville Jaguars winning 35-6 this past Sunday at home?
What I've been witnessing is the same thing with Caleb and this young man here for Jacksonville. Got young people finding themselves and coming of age, playing within themselves, not playing hero ball. Caleb Williams is like a guy he's going to play guy. He comes through. He's very exciting to watch, but that doesn't work in the pros. And now you got my man here in Jacksonville with a great running back, previously from Florida, Etienne, and he finished out his college career in Georgia, running behind the great Bulldogs. Hey, I mean, to be honest with you, if they got in, I would play that clip where they played the Patriots in the playoffs the last time they climbed the ladder and dared to be great. No, they got cheated. And I watched the game.
Oh, Patriot haters in the house. I knew it wouldn't take long. I knew something was wrong, Bryant. When he wanted to talk about the Falcons and Patriots, I knew something wasn't right. And he gonna sit here and say that the Patriots cheated the Jaguars when Stephon. They had. Oh, come on. Come on.
That phantom.
Come on.
And then the 2 4th down pass interference calls for Brady. I mean, I was like, wow, who's making this stuff up? But
let me.
Anyway.
Those are Trump calls.
No, look. They had Blake Bortles as their starting quarterback. Blake Bortles brought them to an AFC championship. That was Jacksonville. They went on a run that year. We give them credit for that. That was the last time they've been to the playoffs. They haven't been yet in a Trevor Lawrence era, which is. They've been once, right?
They got
They went once. But they haven't been back to the NFC Championship since then. But Brian, you don't trust Blake Bortles in a playoff game, do you? Versus Tom Brady?
Who is that?
Who?
Who? Blake who?
Blake who?
The game they were listen, Blake Bortles and that Jaguar team was running and pounding the football. That strip fumble from the Patriot guy. And then all I saw was a clear fumble, and I saw a clear recovery by the Jaguars. Defense, they were winning off of defense and steady, consistent, not over the top offense, running the football and moving the chains with 6, 8 yard passes. I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow. I watched it and it kind of disheartened me, but you gotta come back from it. So I think, they went to the bottom. They've been at the bottom for the last 4 or 5 years. You got to imagine with the quarterback that the scrutiny that the quarterback received for those years of the team not doing anything. I mean, everybody was.
You talking about Blake?
They did just pay a lot of money for Trevor Lawrence. That comes with a lot of expectations. Jamar, the Jaguars are on the road this Sunday against the Cardinals and then on the road against the worst team in the NFL and the Tennessee Titans. Give me your quick pick and preview. Do you see the Titans do you see the Jaguars improving on a 3-game win streak, beating both Arizona or Tennessee, or do you see Jacksonville losing to one of those two teams? Give me your take.
I see Jacksonville beating both of them, to be honest.
I agree.
To be honest with you. I was impressed with this last win. They did beat a Chargers team that's over 500. They made them look bad, man. They jumped on them from the very beginning. Just pure dominance. So I tip my hat off to them. Trevor Lawrence and those guys, they may be like the sleeper team getting into the playoffs. So I see them winning both of those games. The team is playing, pretty good right now. I think they can ride off of this momentum for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I agree, Jamar, and I'm kind of disappointed in the Chargers because they were on a 3-game win streak coming into this Sunday, losing to Jacksonville. I thought they'd make it 4 going into the bye, but this is like one of those years where you're not sure what you're going to see consistent basis from Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. I mean, I know we've seen that a little bit earlier in our Michigan years with him as our head coach, but then to think that they started to pick up and won a national championship, beat Ohio State in the process, all that good stuff. Sorry, Chris, we love you. But I've been disappointed with the Chargers losing, and then they only put up 6 points. Justin Herbert, he played awful.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I agree. I wouldn't either.
Well, yeah, because my fantasy football, I said he had 6 points total, and I'm sitting here looking, and I said it. I said, that team is just so inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get. But that's the NFL this year. You got teams that are, outside of the 8-3s and the 9-2s, which is few far in between.
Yep.
You got a lot of teams that are 4-5 and 5-4.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just a lot's going on. So you just don't know.
Just don't know. And another thing that I do know is I'm standing on business again, week in and week out. And that's me saying, the Ravens are the team that everyone needs to pay attention to since coming off their bye week. They won again on the road this past Sunday, taking care of business against the Cleveland Browns. 23-16. Mark Andrews surpasses Derek Mason for the most all-time receiving yards in Ravens history. Bryant, you're a tight end guy, and Mark Andrews breaking being all-time leading receiver, tight end. Receiving yards, breaking the great Derek Mason, who won a Super Bowl when Trent Dilfer was a quarterback. 23-16 was your final. We did get to see Shado in the second half, third quarter. Lamar Jackson didn't play that well, throwing 2 interceptions, but Derrick Henry pretty much carried the slack, rushing for over 100 yards, had 103 to be exact, 2 touchdowns. And, Zay Flowers, again, being that guy that Lamar Jackson can count on week in and week out. He did finish with 78 yards receiving. But, Bryant, this is another win for the Ravens, 1 game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, who arguably either if they don't win the division, which I think they got a shot to, they do have a more realistic shot to be a wild card in the AFC. Give me your takeaway from the Ravens' victory on the road against Cleveland.
It's Cleveland. What else can I tell you? The Ravens, they're going to win the division. That organization over there with Cleveland is just, you ever see the show called The Backwards Man? It was like, I can move as fast as I can, the Backwards Man.
Backwards Man.
Cleveland is the backwards team.
2-8.
It's just awful.
Awful.
It's just, it's just god awful. And everyone's over there just really just not getting themselves together.
Yeah, they're not getting themselves together at all because I wanted to save that for another rainy day. And what I mean by that is, Brian, I'll turn over to you because, everything has been a little bit crazy these last few weeks. I've said that Shador would start by week 11. That was my prediction. By week 11, I said that Shador would be the starter. Well, he was named the starter for this upcoming game, his first start in his NFL career. But just the way things transpire with the loss of Jalen Gabriel, and then Shador coming in the third quarter. And the funny thing is, Shador didn't have any first-team reps this year at all. That should never happen. And then the flip side to it is Shador is named or has been named the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart for the last 4 weeks now. There's no quarterback that's number 2 in the depth chart in the NFL. Ask any of the other 31 teams in the league that does not get first-team reps. I've never heard that. A quarterback that's number 2. I mean, he's a number 2 quarterback, and he was in street clothes. How's that possible? And then fast forward, look how the tables turned. Jalen Gabriel gets injured, insert Shador Sanders in the third quarter, and you saw it, Bryant, offensively in that offensive line from just the little things, the mechanical things that you saw. They didn't have any rhythm, no chemistry at all, but he did the best that he could, and he almost. I mean, he had a pass in the end zone. His receiver dropped it. I don't know the name of the receiver at the current time. Shame on me. But you have to be, for what it was worth, and the magnitude of how he was inserted into this game this past Sunday. What would be your grade? And I'll ask everyone here. I'll start with you, Bryant, first. What would be your grade for Shador's performance coming in that third quarter against Baltimore?
I would give him a C. I definitely probably a C minus. He didn't play horrible. He didn't play great. He played what you should expect from a quarterback with no reps. It's just what it is. He had some talent. There was a lot of delays there, and we discussed this inside the car on the way up. It's everything is about timing with football, and in between the lines, this game is won in between the lines of game of inches. So time here is very important, and they just look off. Everybody did. Number 44. I don't know if he's a fullback or a tight end. In that one particular pass that Shador had. Is throwing the curl, the ball basically tail end. The receiver was waiting. Number 44 didn't get to the flat in fast enough, and Shador he had to wait. He had to wait, that much time to sit there and throw that point. And he threw it off his back leg. It's just everything is just out of sync. You just can't win games that way by throwing in a rookie with no reps.
No first-team reps. Brian, let's get your perspective. Give me your grade if you had to give a grade on Shador's performance. And Arthur and Jamar, you guys can chime in afterwards. What would you give Shador on his performance of what you've seen the third and fourth quarter against Baltimore this past Sunday?
It's hard to even give him a grade. The C is probably the best you can do because, with no reps at all, he has no chemistry whatsoever with them at all. You could see it, Garv said, you could see it in the routes, the way the routes is being ran. He's trying to put it to where they supposed to be, but they just wasn't in sync at all. And it's he had one knack that a lot of the NFL teams looked at that they didn't like. Him holding on to the ball too much. And it's him knowing that coming into the NFL, if a person doesn't really understand football, it will look like that's what he was doing again this week. But it's he wasn't trying to hold on to the ball. It's just people weren't, they just wasn't in sync. So I would give him a C, but that's a horrible coaching job by them. It doesn't make any sense how he didn't get any reps with the first team. If he's
Kevin Stefanski.
That makes no sense at all.
Kevin Stefanski. Arthur, your grade.
Joe Flacco was there.
I'm going to have to take the grade and invert it and put it on the coach. And it's going to be an incomplete because, our jobs as coaches are to prepare our players, prepare our units, get the team together. And it just seems that everything that he's done has a negative slant. And I just pray that this young man holds everything together because all it takes is one little thing. They'll blow it out of proportion. And I'm going to tell you a rumor. I heard that the Miami Dolphins are really making they're going to make a very, very strong bid for Sanders. And, I think any type of change of scenery would be good for him. And also, I've been listening on the podcast. I haven't heard anybody say anything about the Los Angeles Rams.
Whoa! What? What? Did he just say that?
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, we talked about the
Did
Rams
he just say that?
almost every week.
Hold on. I have been on this platform for the last 3 to 4 weeks giving my case on why I think the Rams are one of the hottest teams in the NFL, with one of the hottest offenses in the NFL, with offensive coordinator, head coach who calls the plays, Sean McVay. I've given Matthew Stafford his love, putting him in the MVP conversation.
Yes,
did I not?
Yes, he has.
Did he just say that?
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Jamar, give me your grade for Shador before I have to resurrect.
Honestly, with Shador, Shador's in a tough spot, man. I feel like, he was doomed from the start. The way they went about the quarterback jobs. I would give him a C right now. I don't think it's fair enough to grade him any lower. From what I saw when he was playing in the game, he was pretty much out of sync with the guys. Just not enough chemistry there, for him to make anything happen. So I think he honestly went out there and put his best foot forward, and he tried to make something out of nothing, and right now, just the Browns are just not in a good space. I believe he got in, he threw an interception, and I can't put too much on him right now. I would just like to see the kid get a fair shot, and play somewhere where he can really show his talent, but it's unfortunate, man, for him, so I'll give him a C.
I can't believe he actually said that. We haven't talked about the Los Angeles Rams on this podcast. I can't believe it. I'm just like,
we have, and I'm like this with the Rams.
And last week, Bryant was sitting here telling me that the Rams weren't going to beat Seattle. He said that. He said the Rams aren't going to beat Seattle. No way.
That's
and I said you have lost your mind if the Rams losing at home against the Seattle Seahawks.
That's correct.
I said that. But listen, man, the Rams are here. They have arrived. I mean, Sean McVay has the Rams on an all-time high right now. Offensively, they're the second league in passing yards. I mean, Matthew Stafford, we don't talk about Devontae Adams anymore with the struggles that he had in New York with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Devontae Adams has resurrected Nakua, who's been wide receiver 1 for the Rams this year.
Is he back?
He is back, and he
Okay.
played last week against Seattle.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Rams, that's 8 in a row.
Yeah. I mean, Nakua drives that team.
And we don't talk about the Los Angeles Rams.
Nakua drives that team.
He is. He does. He does.
He's a beast.
He is a beast.
He's tough.
He is a beast. He's tough. Let's get into our Thursday night football preview for breaking down week 12. We got the Buffalo Bills on the road going into the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans, this game they will be without quarterback CJ Stroud, who will be out for this game. But let's get our quick picks from everybody, starting with you, Arthur. Who do you like Thursday night? Do you like the Bills or do you like the Texans? 8:15 on Thursday Night Football.
Bills rolling. The Buffalo Bills are going to roll. Texans have a pretty strong team. The young man that plays linebacker for him, Will Anderson, his father is a classmate of mine, and it's really interesting being that close to it. But the Texans, I think the issue is the sophomore jinx with Stroud. This is going to be the struggle year for him, and I believe because they're really putting players around him. They're really bringing guys in. And they're just going to have to deal with what's going on with them this year, because it's happening. Yeah. It's happening, and the Bills aren't hot.
Brian said the Bills must win, but this is something I said, Arthur. I said if you can just surround C.J. Stroud with the offensive line, he can make magic happen. I mean, we saw that a few years ago when the Texans made that run in the playoffs and then losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round on the road. But people act like C.J. Stroud, like he's just like this bad quarterback. I mean, he's out most of the time because offensive line stinks, Bryant. They've done nothing in the offseason nor for the trade deadline to improve this offensive line. And look, outside of Nico Collins, who hasn't been healthy this year, Dalton Schultz is leading the league, leading second in the team in receiving yards. I mean, right now the Texans are at 5-5. I don't see them really much making a push for the playoffs. That's just my personal opinion. Jamar, who do you got Thursday night? Do you like the Bills? Do you like the Texans?
I like the Bills. The Bills have to make a push, to really get going, and they have the quarterback in Josh Allen to make it happen. Like you guys spoke about the Texans with Stroud, just that O-line is not holding up for him, and it's tough to come back the sophomore year, when teams have film on you this time around. They make adjustments, they prepare a lot better for you. The kid is talented, but maybe next year or so it'll be a better improvement. They put the right pieces around him. But yeah, I'm going with the Bills. Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen, he knows how to make it happen when he needs to. Hopefully he can make a push, and redeem himself in the playoffs, man. I like Josh Allen. I'm a Josh Allen fan, as an individual player, outside of my Cowboys, of course.
Oh, boy.
Brian, you are 7-4. I am 8-3 on Thursday Night Football locks and picks this year. I'm sorry, Thursday Night Football picks. Bryant did come on here publicly and say that he would never lose another Thursday Night Football game. He did lose that. I won't say the game because he'll be embarrassed to admit it. But, Bryant, you get another opportunity to redeem yourself this Thursday. Who do you like, Bills or Texans?
I mean, this is a no-brainer because, Mills is going to be the quarterback. He's going to struggle. The Bills, they have to win. Bills is going to win this game, even though I like what Mills is doing. He did some great stuff in the last game, but I think he's going to struggle with this one. He's going to have too much heat on him with this defense.
It's time for Monty's picks for this upcoming game of Thursday Night Football. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills as a New England Patriot. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills on the road into Houston. Listen, let's call it for what it is. The Bills last week offensively scored over 40 points. That will carry over into this game. The Bills must win in order to keep their playoff hopes alive, as well as to keep their hopes of trying to win the AFC East. Don't think that's going to happen. Actually, I'll say publicly right now, it won't happen with what New England Patriots have been playing this year. And look, the Houston Texans will be without C.J. Stroud. No disrespect to Mills at all. He can play. He's shown he can play, but I just think for this magnitude of the game and what the momentum that the Buffalo Bills are coming into Houston with, I don't think that they can compete with them. So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills on the road Thursday night against the Houston Texans. And now, one of my favorites, and I just keep losing by one. And Chris is telling me, why don't you just do 3? Why don't you just do 3? You know what? Now I'm saying I'm going to do 3 this week.
Oh, now you're
going to do 3 this week. It's time for Monty's Locks, brought to you by no one. Speaking into existence, somehow, some way, maybe we'll get a sponsor for that segment right there. The Locks of the week, we'll see. But for Monty's Locks for this upcoming week, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills with the spread at 6. Listen, they put up 44 points against the Bucs. The Houston Texans defense by far worse than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buffalo Bills offense is hot. I like Keon Coleman to get 3 receptions coming back. He's got to bring a little bit more competitiveness. That's number 2. He was out this past game because he was having some off-the-field issues and acting like a child. You're a professional football player now. You're a wide receiver for one of the best teams in the league. Grow up and put your big boy pants on because Josh Allen needs you more than you know it. And my last but not least pick, I'm going to take Josh Allen, throw 2 touchdowns. That's my 3. That's Monty's Locks. And that's where we're going to keep it short and sweet. 3. That's it. And, that segment is brought to you by no one. There you go. Let's change some gears as we go into the NBA season. The Detroit Pistons winning last night 120-112, improving to 13-2 on the year. Ooh, the Detroit Pistons, 13-2. Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham, 2 NBA All-Stars this year. That's right. I'll say it. They should make the All-Star team with the way they've been playing. Cade Cunningham has took this team by force going into year 4. He is a leader and the vocal of this person, not also in the front office, but also in the locker room. And his play shows on the court. Brian, you got to be impressed with the Pistons so far at 13-2. Your thoughts?
I'm very impressed with them. I saw them sparingly the other day, and they can go. They can run. They get up and down that court like no other. Yeah. I love like how they play defense. That's a young team, man. That Detroit Piston, Cleveland, that side on the East, they're coming, man. And there's some great things I like to see. And that team is as athletic as can be. So my hat goes off to them, and the playoffs is going to be great this year. We're seeing them in there battling against Cleveland. That's why I see them in that type of position. You look at the Bulls,
who started off hot,
and I told you Billy Donovan.
Billy
Donovan.
We just said a few weeks ago, you guys were 5-0 for the first time since the 95-96 season.
Exactly.
And now you're 5. Now you're 7-6.
7-6. Billy Donovan. Did not call it. It's Billy Donovan.
You did.
Just can't use his rotations correctly. And I hope he gets fired this year.
Well, we talk about the Detroit Pistons. They're 7-1. They're on an 11-game win streak, 10-0 in the last 10. I've been really impressed with how they've been playing. I know it's early on the year. I know we just started. We're only 15 games into the season, but I'm impressed. And then on the flip side, when we look at the Los Angeles Lakers, who won last night, and pretty much I'm just not a fan, so just bear with me, folks. I'm not used to seeing teams score 140 points in the NBA game. I mean, I watched this game last night, all 4 quarters, and I'm just saying to myself, how is this possible? But the style of today's game is just so much more different than what it was a few years ago. But 140-126 was your final. Lakers improved to 11-4. I've been impressed with JJ Redick and the work he's done so far in year 2. I do believe with the return of LeBron will screw some things up offensively in terms of that chemistry that we have with Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and more importantly, DeAndre Ayton. I think this affects him a little bit more because we didn't see him really be much of a factor last night in the win against Utah. But Jamar, let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers at 11-4. This was LeBron's first game back, making history, I should say, in year 23. And everyone had a big frenzy about it, and rightfully so. He deserves it. He's been sidelined since the start of the season. This was his first game back, but he did have some history being made. First player in NBA history to play 23 seasons, but in his debut for the Lakers in year 23, finished with 11 points. He was 4-7 from the field. He did finish with 12 assists. And, our good old buddy at University of San Diego, Coach Steve Lavin, says share the sugar. And he definitely shared the sugar, Jamar. But what impressed you with the Lakers win 140-126 last night at home against Utah?
What really impressed me about the Lakers win was that LeBron didn't come back and try to take over what these guys have started off the season with. These guys have been playing some good basketball. They've been getting the ball around. That tandem with Luka and Austin Reeves, man, has been fun to watch. So LeBron is established, man. He's been around for a long time, so if he wants to continue to be successful with this team, in my opinion, I think LeBron should just buy into what these guys are doing, not try to be the leading scorer or try to be the man anymore. Play behind Luka and Austin Reeves and just be that mentor. You've been in the league 23 years, what else do you really have to play for? So if you ask me, honestly, the Lakers don't need LeBron right now. The way they're playing, they look good without him.
I agree. I mean, Luka finished with 37, 11-22 from the field. He was 2-10 from 3. I'm not a fan of that, but he did get to the line 16 times, making 13 of his free throws. Austin Reeves, who we talked about being the number 2 scorer for the Lakers, finished with 26. He was 7 of 11 and 2 of 5. I'm sorry, 1 of 4 from 3. But DeAndre Ayton having a double-double. We need more of that consistency, 20 and 14. And, Lariva, who's been pretty much a bloomer, a shocking bloomer for the Los Angeles Lakers off the bench. I'm impressed with 16 points, but I do love Gary Vincent. He's got to do a little more. Marcus Smart, we know what he brings to the table on the defensive side. So we'll see what the Lakers do moving forward at 11-4. I have been impressed with JJ Redick in year 2. I do believe that he deserves to be paid because he is taking the next level of Lakers basketball, and that's once LeBron retires from the game, and he'll have a young nucleus in Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. So I look forward to seeing that. But let's change gears, Brian, to your favorite topic, and that's college football with Coach Washington as the number 11 Oklahoma Boomer Sooners went into Alabama, number 4, beating them 23-21. Brian said last week that the Alabama Crimson Tide was going down at home, and Oklahoma went into Bama, and they took the win 23-21. How you feeling?
Fantastic. Fantastic. I sit there. I told you so that was going to happen.
You did. You did. And the only reason why, Arthur, I went for Alabama or was going for them because I betted against Alabama twice earlier on this year, and both times Alabama shut me up. So I said until Alabama loses otherwise, I'm going to roll with the road tide. And Boomer, that Oklahoma Sooner, they must have heard what I said. They say, you know what? We're going to shut that little guy up this week. And,
that tide is rolling.
That tide is rolling, and that's with a hot L.
Arthur, played a good football game. They fought. I believe it was them that spearheaded coming into the SEC, which brought in Texas and Texas A&M. But and that's a big leap. And those guys have shown that they can get talent and compete. They went into a very tough place to play in Alabama and beat a very good football team. I was shocked at how well, watching them play against the Bulldogs in Athens, and they came out with the win. So, hey, my hat's off to Oklahoma. We're going to see how they play in the eliminators. See if they can earn a way into something.
You know what, Brian? We talk about Alabama. We're impressed, but I haven't been impressed with the struggles recently from Ryan Williams. I mean, last year we were talking about he was like the number 2 receiver in the league behind Jeremiah Smith of Ohio State, and he really hasn't had that blown out, pretty much big year that I was anticipating. He did have a lot of other offers from different schools that he could have went to, but he wanted to stay home with the Crimson Tide, which I don't blame him for. I respect the loyalty aspect of it, and he's getting paid a lot of NIL money. I mean, who would? But, I mean, for Alabama, you're going to need Ryan Williams to sort of get that thing rolling if Alabama wants to have a shot at getting to making a run, I should say, in a college football playoff. Agree?
I agree.
Realize they changed his role. They changed the guy's role because he is what you saw. He is like
I'm not denying that at all. I mean, he's him.
He is him.
He's him.
But you got to understand, they are them too.
Kalen DeBoer spreading the ball around. Used to be when Alabama got in trouble, they went to their main guy and they just hung on it, And it's not like that anymore. He's spreading the ball around. A lot of coaches will be down on a player that doesn't block. I'm just saying, a lot of coaches, they will show some negative bias towards a player that doesn't block.
One of these things about in the SEC, those guys play defense, so they're not going to let him do his thing. Now, Jeremiah. In the Big Ten is down this year, so he's doing his thing because of it. Defensively, there's not too many Big Ten teams that are really dominant defensively.
They haven't played nobody.
They haven't played anybody. So the SEC, man, defensively, they are great football teams in that conference. So he's not going to be. Say it again.
Week in and week out.
Yeah, week in and week out. So, yes, no question.
What's sad is that I'm pretty sure LSU is gonna open their piggy bank for Lane Kiffin. From what I understand, Kiffin won't be coaching them in the playoffs, which is a shame because that's a very, very good football team that he's put together, and he's the play caller.
Yeah.
I'm the play caller. Whenever the play caller changes, you're talking about dynamic switch. That's exactly what it is. So I don't see Ole Miss And there's a lot of people they could knock off. I tell you what, I got Ole Miss, if not beating Ohio State, I got them taking it down to the wire because those guys play catch-can football. They've got talent all over the place, and they got speed. And you take into account. Ohio State hasn't beaten up on anybody of any note for a long time. They haven't been in a bare-knuckle dogfight, you know. So, you know, I would.
I don't know.
Oh man, you got three people over here listening to this, man. I'm gonna call this one a phrase. That was hot garbage. There is no way that Mississippi is going to beat freaking Ohio State. They're going to beat them down to a pulp. It's just what it is. That offensive line of Ohio State is not. They're going to sit there and look at them as a joke. It's just what it is. I mean, yeah, they have some little bit of speed on the outside, but physically, Ole Miss just can't keep up with that team. I'm just telling you what it is.
You guys opened up against Texas, and y'all barely, that was an ugly game. I mean,
whoa.
I'm not an Ohio State guy.
No,
I'm not an Ohio State guy. That's
you don't like the Buckeyes.
That's week one for everybody. And everybody comes out the gate slow unless they play.
And we all knew Ohio State was going to beat Texas because Archie Manning in his first game as a Texas quarterback on the road in the Big Shoe against Ohio State, the defending national champions. Are you kidding me? Texas, Steve Sarkisian in a big game. Have you not been paying attention to him?
Either team looked good.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, despite Ole Miss being third in the country in total yards a game, I'll give you that. Offensively, Lane Kiffin, his system for Ole Miss at 10-1, yes, his offense is one of the hottest in the league, and they can score points. Make no mistake about it. However, we talk about Lane Kiffin, right? Lane Kiffin's being linked to the Florida Gators. Lane Kiffin's being linked to LSU, and it's reportedly that Lane Kiffin could be paid the highest paid college coach in college football, but haven't won not one playoff game as a head coach, hasn't been to one college football playoff as a head coach, has not been to one national championship as a head coach. Yes, he's won as a coordinator at Alabama under Nick Saban. 100% he's earned that at his position at offensive coordinator. No doubt. But as a head coach,
nothing.
10-1 with Ole Miss, finally, as a head coach, and you want to go get paid that type of money to be the highest paid coach in the country. But what does your resume have on it that can convince me, that can convince the AD, that can convince the board of directors this is our guy that's going to be able to take a program like Florida, that was a waste of time with Billy Napier, who pretty much should have got fired last year, but he got 9 lives to come back again this year. He got fired. He got a buyout. Florida hasn't been anything relevant since the Urban Meyer era, winning back-to-back national championships. And then flip side, LSU, what a waste of money and what a waste of time with Brian Kelly. I mean, he just pooped on all the Notre Dame fans prior to leaving, had all this smoke, all this hype going to LSU. That turned out to be absolutely nothing. Now he's got a legal case going on because he wants to get paid his $54 million from his buyout. Give me a break. Lane Kiffin, the highest paid coach in college football. Brian, agree or disagree?
Hold on. Doors open for that guy. That guy had USC. He had Tennessee. Okay, now, I was talking about this a few days ago. This is the same situation Brian Kelly was in when he was with Cincinnati. He should have stayed and continued to build that program. Now, I think that Lane Kiffin should stay and build that Ole Miss program.
I said that. He should build if he wants. I put like this. Here's a scenario, Coach Art and Jamar. Chime in and tell me if you agree or disagree. I said this earlier, actually, on the ride here, and I was talking to Brian about in terms of Lane Kiffin, the future of him at Ole Miss. I personally said this: if I'm Lane Kiffin, despite the noise, yes, it's good to know that I could be the highest paid coach in college football, but at the price you have to pay for that, right? He's building his own. There's no other coach that has been successful and has had Ole Miss football the way he has Ole Miss football right now since before Christ's era, BCE, right? Then flip side to it is if you were to leave Ole Miss, right? Leave, and you go to a Florida or you go to a LSU, and it doesn't work. His legacy is tarnished. It's a wrap. It's done.
He's done it. He's done it before.
He's done it before, but he hasn't won. He hasn't won.
He didn't win. He went to Tennessee. He didn't win. He left. Common sense would say stay put and build what you got because he's got a machine. I watched him. I'm sitting over here scared watching him play my Bulldogs, and we had to pull one out. We had to pull one out of the left hand, but I think he'll go for the money and just repeat the insanity.
It doesn't make any sense for him to. I mean, you talking about going from one SEC school to another. You just chasing money at this point because it's all the same. Yeah. At this point, I gave it a name. I call it him being a prostitute. You're prostituting yourself. You're prostituting.
I like that.
You prostitute yourself for more money. You're just being a prostitute. I mean, win at least. Win a chip before you go.
This part of the episode has been brought to you by no one. Thank you for joining episode 41 of The Rewind. We look forward to seeing you guys next week, same time, 9 o'clock Eastern time on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. See you guys later, and God bless. Take care, everybody.
Jesus Christ, man.
I mean, look, man, I'm just saying that the whole Lane Kiffin thing right now, Ole Miss is 10. First off, we should be focused on the season, right? I'm worried about winning a national championship. I'm not worried about who's trying to pay me. If you want to talk to me in terms of potentially hiring me, talk to me after the season. Those guys in that locker room, those coaches, those players, they deserve Lane Kiffin's undivided attention from now until the end of the season. I mean, look, at the end of the day, the players deserve it because they're running through a brick wall to be 10-1 right now and having one of the hottest offenses in the country. That should be the focus. We're trying to get to an SEC championship. And better yet, we're trying to win an SEC championship, something we haven't done in a pretty long time ever in school history. So the fact that all these this ruckus coming out, and then on top of that, the school is saying, hey, Lane, you need to give us a decision by this date, which I think is like November 23rd or something like that, or November 24th, that you need to give us a decision on if you're going to be the head coach or if you're leaving. Could you imagine your team at 10-1 and you already got the AD coming to you and say, hey, give us an answer?
Done. They're done. It's just an awful thing to do, man.
It's terrible.
He's always cooking the money. He's
always.
Hey,
prostitute.
Hey, Jamar, you think Lane stays or you think Lane goes? Because I know, in the words of Coach Bryant, man, pimping ain't easy.
I like what Coach said. I mean, he's right, man. This guy goes after the money, and he just says, "The hell with it. I'm out of here. Oh, you're gonna pay me this much? Peace. See you." So, I think he's leaving, man. I think he should stay, like Arthur said, and build off what he has. But you have some guys that are just in it for the money, man. And he hasn't won nothing, man, on the big stage. Nothing.
This one is a coordinator.
So
that was under Saban.
I would love to see him at least.
And I'm rooting for him.
Rooting for him. He hears cha-ching,
I don't root for prostitutes.
And he runs, You dangle some money in a prostitute's face,
Hey, look, I think if I'm going to play devil's – yeah, Jamar, another point. If I'm Lane Kiffin, I'm probably saying, you know what? I have an opportunity to be the highest paid coach in college football. And I can probably do the same thing here at Ole Miss, and I can probably do this at LSU or Florida. If I'm going to play devil's advocate and I'm Lane Kiffin, I would take the Florida job and leave LSU behind because they have a legal matter going on with Brian Kelly and how they're going to pay him and that $54 million buyout that they had in his contract clause or whatever. And Florida needs it more than LSU. Because LSU, they had a national championship in 2020. Florida football is just been sad. because we look at Florida. We've always had Florida as a top 5 team in the country, and we've always had Florida being pretty much dominant in the SEC. I mean, I know Kirby Smart in Georgia has a obligation for that, for ruining.
No, we have a lock on it. We have a lock on it.
They got a lock on it, but we shall see. If you guys didn't know, this past Saturday, Texas Tech, Indiana, Vanderbilt, Notre Dame, Michigan all won this past Saturday. Also with Texas and Ohio State and Oregon. Ohio State currently have the best record, number 1 team in the country at 10-0, followed by Indiana at 11-0. I look forward to seeing the season play out where we can kind of see Indiana, Ohio State getting on in the Big Ten Championship. But games to look out for this upcoming Saturday. We got number 7 Oregon against number 15 USC. Quick pick, Bryant. Who do you like this Saturday? Do you like USC or do you like Oregon?
I have Oregon to win. They're going to have to win out to prove their worth. USC is not that dominant, but they're playing pretty good football. But I got Oregon pulling this one out.
I have Oregon as well. Coach Washington, Jamar, who do you guys like Saturday? Do you like Oregon? Do you like USC?
I like Oregon. I'm going with Oregon.
Good man.
Like I said, USC's been playing pretty good. They've been playing some good football, but like Coach Garvin said, Oregon has to go all the way. They have to win out, man.
They got to win out. They got to win out.
I'm going to go since USC before I moved to the East Coast. Before I moved here to Atlanta, I'm from Arizona, and USC was my favorite football team. So I'm going to go with USC, and I want to put an asterisk beside Ohio State and Indiana because I think if you could combine their strength of schedule and add it together, it'd probably be really good for one team. I mean,
Well, see, I'm going to tell you what I said on my way down here, and I told Monty this. I said, look, Ohio State and Indiana would not be in the finals this year. This is what I said. I said this, but they're not losing against Ole Miss. They're going to lose against someone else, but it won't be Ole Miss. I had Texas A&M and Georgia playing in the finals somehow, some way. That's what I had. Those 2 teams definitely playing in the final. That's what I had, but it could change. Well, I can change my mind within the next 2 years. Next 2 weeks. 2 weeks. But as of right now,
3.
3 weeks. Yeah. But as of right now, they're playing great football. I mean, especially Texas A&M, they're playing. Their coaches over there are actually coaching.
Do you know who I like as a dark horse?
Who?
Texas Tech.
The Texas Tech is a slight dark, but they're not physical enough.
No one seen Texas Tech coming out and being the number 5 team in the country. Nobody. Find them.
They're not physical enough to.
Yeah, they're not physical, man. These guys, we're talking, man. Texas A&M. And you know what's so sad is that Jimbo Fisher got fired because he took all that NIL money and he worked it the wrong way. He went and got freshmen instead of getting some shooting ready players and getting some backups and a couple starters. He went and got them super freshmen, and now they're showing out for him.
Yep.
Those are Jimbo's guys.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But that goes to show you how stupid ADs are. Because I think this ADs, no offense, I love you guys, but you guys make some of the dumbest decisions ever. You fire your coaches prematurely, and you got to give things some time. It just you just don't get rid of guys every 2 and 3 years and expect miracles.
Well, that was a bad move. To try to outdo Alabama in recruiting the freshmen. Right. If he would have took that NIL money and got some horses off the other team, he would have been in better shape. It's like say it's a new day. The freshman, 17-year-old kid ain't gonna do nothing. Now, man, Georgia's got him stacked up. The Dogs got him standing. You see that running back, number 33, Bruce Bowen? Mm-hmm. Oh, he's going to be a great pro. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a great pro.
Georgia produce some pros.
They are that. They are loaded.
They are. I agree.
They are loaded.
Georgia. Don't sleep on BYU.
I didn't want. I would have let Nate Frazier go after that fumble on the 1 yard line. I didn't think that this big time football was for him. But hey, they show confidence in him, and he's adequate. He's doing a hell of a job. He's toting the mail back there. Like I said, I would have had to let him go on that fumble because it might not have been for him. But plus, you got that other kid behind him, number 2. That guy's gonna be great. But I want to give the coach, I want to give Kirby Smart a good wave and a shout for that onside kick because basically
wait. Oh, go ahead, coach. You good. You good. No worries.
That onside kick let everybody know. That served notice that we're coming for everybody and there's nothing off the table. There's nothing off the table. We're back to who we used to be. We're going to run the score up on you. We're going to skin you. We're going to put some Woody Hayes on you.
Jamar, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Where do you see this season finishing? Because, and I know I want to get your quick perspective before you guys go, but where do you see, like, give me your top 4. If the college football player were to start tomorrow and you have the final vote as a committee member, you have the final say out of the top 4 teams. Like, are you cool with having Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Georgia at 4, or who would be your top 4 for the college football playoff if the season ended today?
Based off of what I'm seeing, honestly, I think that 4 is not bad. It's maybe a few teams that can probably sneak in, but right now, I like that top 4 actually.
Okay, Arthur, do you agree?
Oh, I agree, but I got Notre Dame is going to beat either Ohio State or Indiana when after the bye.
Do you have something against Ohio State? Do you have something against Ohio State? Please reveal yourself. Reveal yourself, man. Oh man. You don't like Ryan Day? You don't like Jeremiah Smith?
I am shocked and amazed at the quality of football that they put out on over and over again. I have a real close friend of mine that's a Michigan guy. So when Ohio State beats them, he really takes it hard. But, their strength of schedule. How they stay up for it, because we're in the SEC. We got a dogfight. Matter of fact, hey, nobody's saying it, but if Indiana was to play Vanderbilt right now, good and well, you take Vanderbilt. Your money would ride on Vandy, and that's a demo.
Over who? Over who?
I wouldn't say that.
What?
I wouldn't say that.
What?
I would say,
hell no. Hell no.
Kurt Signetti was my coach.
Hell no.
So I know for sure that Indiana will beat Vandy, even though I like Vandy.
I like Vandy too.
And I've been screaming Vandy all year.
I like Vandy too. I know,
but
shit.
Let's keep it real. Indiana had a rough game against Penn State. They really did. And they should have lost the game. They should have. But at the end of the day, Indiana, it will not lose against.
What Vanderbilt or Georgia would do to Penn State? They would do to Penn State?
Penn State's not relevant. Penn State's not relevant.
Yeah, Penn State, everybody's rolling over Penn State right now.
True.
So that's not even relevant.
That's a bad take right there, Coach. Of course, we can take BYU against Penn State. We could take Utah against Penn State. We could take Miami, who Carson Beck has been looking like god awful trailer park trash for the Miami Hurricanes. We could take Georgia Tech against Penn State. That's not fair. It's not fair.
Vandy though.
Let's look at it.
I don't know about that.
BYU will probably get in there.
I agree.
They're going to get a chance to fight against they're going to take the 12 teams. and we got 4 teams that are going to have a bye. So, you know, they're gonna mix it up. You know, and what does a bye do to Ohio State and Indiana?
It gives them another week to prepare for a really good football team.
Reality, because reality's coming. Reality's coming. Ole Miss is coming.
Hey, look, it gives them another week to prepare for a good football team. Preparation.
Texas A&M. That's kind of tough, man, because them boys ain't been hurting in a dog fight with stuff taped up in the fourth quarter, down by 12.
From what I've seen, I know Ohio State. This is my last point for you guys to go. I know Ohio State hasn't played anybody, right, in terms of top 25 opponents. Yeah, I mean, you know, Coach Gar's been a big fan of Nick Saban doing that for a long time. He's even called him out on it, and with Alabama not playing anybody, and then somehow get to a college football championship like there was no tomorrow. Ohio State's taken a little bit of the page out of that book. I'm not against it. They're the defending national champs. They can do whatever they decide to do. They've earned the right to do that. However, from what I've seen through 10 weeks, he's talking about Ole Miss. Okay. You know, they give up 30 points a game. Talk about Vandy, you know, they give up at least 25 points a game. Who is guarding Jeremiah Smith?
Nobody.
The best wide receiver in college football right now, who's breaking every Ohio State receiving record that there is known to date in Ohio State history books, and that's including touchdowns, that is inclling receptions, that's including receiving yards.
Double covered.
Yes, look at the tape, Coach. Look at the tape.
Okay, Georgia showed you how to do that. Georgia showed you, like, you guys had a national championship in the bag when y'all were playing Georgia. And the man threw a corner. He threw the pass in the end zone to Harrison Jr. right before the half, and he got knocked out by the safety. Now, Harrison Jr., who was just doing anything he wanted to on the field, if that man doesn't go down, Georgia doesn't come back and beat Ohio State. Okay?
Well,
so
if we
you had to knock that guy out.
If we're going to sit here and talk about
y'all remember?
What ifs?
It's a comeback. It's a big comeback. Georgia won.
We're going to say some we will see.
We will see. That's all I can say. We will see.
That's all you can say.
Right.
You got to run the football. Run the pound the football. Bryant.
That's something Ohio State does very well. They can run and they can pass. Coach Washington, this is your first appearance on the Rewind, and hopefully it will not be the last. I'm grateful for you. For the people out there, tell them where they can find you, where they can support you on social media, and all the good folks that support the Rewind.
Well, it would have to be here. So we're looking at the Rewind. You know, I would love to come back and then just work it out.
You're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime. Jamar knows the deal. Jamar, where can the people find you? You've already been through this once. You know what? Let's not say where the people can find you. What's a message you would like to leave for episode 41 before you go?
Message I would like to leave for episode 41. Everybody stay tuned when this episode releases. There's some interesting topics and opinions. And get your popcorn ready.
Public disclosure for everybody out there. If you did not know from episode 41, Coach Washington does not like the Ohio State Buckeyes. And we're Wolverine fans. We're Wolverine fans, and we don't like them some bastards either. Oh, but Coach Washington doesn't like them, and he's got a lot of faith in Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. Let it ride. Let it ride. Always a pleasure, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys can catch this episode. It is out now live on YouTube, but it will be out tomorrow on all platforms. Coach Washington, Coach Jamar, always a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to join us to Rewind. I will see you guys soon. Definitely, Jamar. I will see you sooner than later. Coach Washington, you're welcome back anytime. We may bring you back right before the college football playoffs start, if not after the first round, so we can see where Ole Miss is going to lose at, since you got all this faith in Ole Miss.
All right. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Jamar,
good night,
former
fellas.
Eastside alum.
Yes,
Coach
sir.
Washington, UGA's finest, down in the good state of Georgia. Brian, more importantly, I wanted to do this the right way, right? And end this the way it should be. And that's with the two of us. We have been grinding through 41 episodes of work. I want to give a special shout out to our team, Chris in 1990 Studios. Want to give a special shout out to our dog, Pat, who prepares this thing week in and week out. Our communication is pretty much on point. Our communication would probably be like Brady and Josh McDaniels, just the chemistry from an offensive play calling standpoint. We just have that rhythm. I love Pat. Shout out to Pat. Shout out to all of our people that have supported us on the Rewind through this journey. And it is a blessing to be here live, I should say, in Toronto, Canada. My first time here in Canada. Bryant hasn't been back here since the early 90s, but I just wanted to make sure, Brian, we do this the right way and end this night the way it should. And that's for the two of us.
It's great, you know what I mean? And now, you know, I get to sit there and look at you eye to eye with nobody else there.
Yeah.
And I can really say what I need to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you do know the rule that if you piss me off, I can physically get to you now. I can get to you. So, Brian, let's get into it. Episode 41 edition. It's time for this week's studio edition, Toronto's finest. Bryant, BG, Garv. It's time for episode 41, Coach Garv's hot take. Take it away.
Texas Trooper shoves South Carolina wide receiver Nick Harbor. I'm going to take this one a little bit deeper. Big time deeper. This happened before that shove when the mace on the field, when Michigan was playing, I forgot what team that was, when a police officer maced everyone.
Last year when we beat Ohio State.
Correct.
At the horse shit.
Going back with the Ohio State
at the
thing.
horse shit,
At the horse shit.
Yeah.
And Michigan beat Ohio State and he maced all the players.
Yes.
And then again, this year happened in high school when a police officer went down and maced players. So now is given the okay for police officers to intimidate players while they are on the field. They are there to protect and serve, not to punish. That was not called for. He didn't need to follow players in the tunnel. He shouldn't even be there to that point, and he should be there for spectators to prevent them from going in the tunnel to protect players. But for him to go through there and to use both elbows, I watched that intention before everyone else started talking about it. I said he did that intentionally, like it's some good old boy stuff. No, because it couldn't be me. I'm glad that young man walked away. Because if it was me,
why? What? Why?
You know why?
I don't.
Oh, yes, you do.
I don't.
You know my temperament.
I
would have turned around. He pointed his finger in my face. I'm pointing right back at him and told him I would have kicked his fucking ass, dude. Right there. I would have took my helmet off and bashed him upside the head. That's how I am.
Well,
and you know how I am.
You went to jail.
That's okay.
No, it's not. I can't have you go to jail.
I know you can't. But it's uncalled for.
I agree.
It's uncalled for to bring me there. That's not your place. He should have went inside that tunnel and said, are you okay? Everything's all right. So you run in the tunnel. Let me walk you out back to your sideline, make sure you're good. So nobody start throwing bottles or anything to it at you. Protect your players, not to sit there and bump both of them. And it's good that his teammate was there to guide him away because that could have went left quick.
I agree. To piggyback off what you're saying with your hot take, again, I think in the world of sports, a lot of individuals feel like they are entitled to do things that they aren't entitled to do. A police officer in any college football game is either he's there to protect the head coach after the game, before the game as well, halftime, making sure the head coach is safely from the field to the locker room, back to the field, and vice versa. In that particular moment, to pretty much be shown on camera shoving a South Carolina receiver, Nick Harbor, from behind. knowing that this is a national televised game, by the way.
Yes.
And to do it to the extent of him thinking that he wasn't on camera or no one was seeing, that just gives me the idea of what this man actually could be when there's no cameras around.
Yeah, but check this out. If I get up from this table right now and I shove you,
that wouldn't be a good idea.
That's what I'm saying. So why is it not a good idea right now? But then on there, you're talking about I go to jail. It's the same temperament,
right?
You're not going to get up. Your reaction is that you're going to bark right back. This is how we were built,
right? So
it was uncalled for.
It was,
and I hope it's almost to a point where he gets suspended for a long time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward. And I just want to give a quick shout out to wide receiver, South Carolina receiver Nick Harbaugh, how he handled the situation.
Outstanding.
He handled it like a true professional. Again, if you look at the replay, his teammate is there to pretty much pull him back into the current phase, and that's getting him back on the field. But for the police officer, that was a terrible, terrible thing to do. And you should be punished for your actions because there's no reason why you should have done that. Even if it's a misunderstanding or miscommunication, the words of excuse me or pardon me or whatever, but putting your hands on a player in that particular situation, not a no good idea. And hopefully he is pretty much dealt with accordingly, because that should never happen in any magnitude of any game, rather it's high school, college, or professionals, for a police officer to put his hands on a player. So we shall see with that moving forward. It is time for this week's edition, episode 41, live from Toronto, Canada, 1990 Studios. It's the Rewind of the Week. Chris, let it ride. On this week's edition of Rewind of the Week, we flash back to that lovely ass kicking that the Georgia Bulldogs gave the Texas Longhorns last week, getting them 35-10 in stunning fashion. Bryant, we talked about it. Steve Sarkisian at big games. What does he do?
Fold.
And Kirby Smart, what does he do?
Kick ass.
And he has his team prepared, and he damn sure had his team prepared against Texas coming in. I did say that this was a must-win game for them if they wanted to keep their college football playoff hopes alive. I did also say I don't believe Texas will get into the college football playoff with having 3 losses on their resume. So for Steve Sarkisian, your time in Texas is ticking. I'm sure the Texas donors are already looking for candidates, because he's
going to get fired.
You do know when Texas, they got that big money, their patience is a little slim.
He's going to get fired.
He's going to get fired. Steve Sarkisian, let's just call, he is, again, from the Nick Saban tree, coaching tree. And, being in a university like Texas comes with a lot of expectations, comes with a lot of pressure to win. But let's just face it, when you have 3 losses this year, and I get it, it's Archie Manning's first year as starting quarterback, are they going to really give him some grace? Or is it a bad mix? We do know Steve Sarkisian calls plays for Longhorns, but I just want to give credit to Kirby Smart, because he had his team prepared on Saturday, and that onside kick for me was pretty much a lovely, remarkable moment in that game, because that was just showing how outcoached that Steve Sarkisian was, because you got to be prepared no matter what down it is, down and distance. The 3 things we talk about, Brian, be prepared on: offense, defense, and special teams.
3 phases of the game.
3 phases of the game. And damn it, that onside kick was all she wrote. In Texas, they pretty much put a statement out to the country as well as to Texas that you may be in the SEC, but you may not be ready for us.
Manning is not a prophylactic football player. He is an average to below average football player. It's just what it is. He cannot win big games, and I would only draft that young man as a free agent. I'm saying that right now. He is not that guy.
He's not that guy. Shout out to Georgia Bulldogs, number 5 in the country, now ranked number 4. Steve Sarkisian, I hope your agent is picking up some phone calls from other universities to kind of get your next gig, because if you're not going to be in college football next year, you'll probably have a spot somewhere on the SEC network or maybe ESPN channels to keep that lovely face shining. And there's nothing against Steve Sarkisian. I do not hate Texas fans. I do not dislike Steve Sarkisian at all. I don't think that he's a terrible coach. I just think that when you write a check that your ass can't cash, what my grandma used to say, that puts you in a lot of trouble. And that 7-3 with Archie Manning as year 1, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it showed. He started winning some games afterwards with an easier schedule, but it kind of shows you the type of schedule he had when he was in high school. He had a very easy schedule. So when the talent pool steps up 1 basis, and I call it 1 basis point, he struggles, and he has struggled against Ohio State and now Georgia. He is not that guy.
He's just not that guy.
Yeah.
And our last segment of the night on tonight's episode, live from 1990 Studios, it is time for Floss with Moss. I got a special surprise for y'all once again. Let's go. Well, what do we have here to end tonight's episode? Other than with your boy, of course, appreciate it. Thank you to everyone out there that's been showing love for tonight's episode on all of our platforms. Greatly appreciate it. But it's time for my top 5 after week 11, brought to you by no one. Top 5 teams through week 11. We have the Denver Broncos at 1, the New England Patriots at 2, the Los Angeles Rams at 3, the Indianapolis Colts at 4, Eagles at 5. When we say the Denver Broncos, they are the team that is responsible for ending the Kansas City Chiefs regime this year at 5-5. This is the first time Kansas City has been 5-5 since the 2015 season. We do know that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have won a ton of games, a few Super Bowls, multiple AFC Championship appearances, multiple AFC Championship wins, and the Denver Broncos being undefeated at home. That undefeated streak continues. Sean Payton has got his guy in Bo Nix. He's been playing really impressive football. Ever since the Broncos put up 33 points in the second quarter against the New York Giants, the Broncos offensively have just been nothing to wreck with, even though I do believe that the Broncos right now, sitting at 9-2, will somehow, some way lose. They do have a bye this upcoming Sunday, but, you got to be impressed. The Broncos at 9-2 is something that they haven't been since the Peyton Manning era, so I'm happy for Denver as a whole. New England Patriots at 2. I mean, how could you not have the Patriots at 2? They're one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Mike Vrabel has done a phenomenal, outstanding job with this team. He's rebuilt this culture from the ground up since taking over for Gerard Mayo. He's a winning coach. His resume speaks for itself. The locker room is pretty much well solid from top to bottom. There's no squeaky links. There's no squeaks. We don't hear about coaches taking other jobs, possibly. New England, we just run things a little bit different. The LA Rams at number 3, one of the hottest offenses in the league. Matthew Stafford so far in the year, 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That's pretty impressive. That's MVP numbers. If you ask me, Sean McVay, if you're a Los Angeles Rams fan, you are proud. You are excited to be a Ram at 8-2. They are 5-0 in the last 5. The Indianapolis Colts, they're not out of my top 5 till they lose another game. Why? Because, yes, they've been on a bye week, but they're 4-1 in the last 5. Jonathan Taylor rushed for over 100 yards, multiple consecutive games, including getting in the end zone multiple consecutive times. You can't stop the Colts and what they're doing right now. They deserve to be where they are right now in the National Football League at 5. Jim Irsay, God rest his soul. They're having a good year for him, my brother. And the Philadelphia Eagles at 5. And I know some have said, well, why don't you have the Buffalo Bills at 5? Or why don't you have the Chicago Bears at 5? Or better yet, why don't you have, the San Francisco 49ers at 5? And I'm like, just not ready for them yet. Eagles at 5. Yes, offensively, they have been playing pretty sluggish at 4-1, but, they had a pretty, I would say exciting win, but it wasn't. They had an okay win against Detroit. That pass interference was horrible. What's such a horrible call? But this is my top 5. Debate me otherwise. I'm ready to battle any of you sons of lovely people out there who disagree. Bryant, agree, disagree with my top 5?
I'm going to disagree with it.
Of course you are.
Yeah, I'm going to.
How could I be surprised?
It's because this week it's going to change again.
It's the whole point. It's my top 5 out there every week.
I get it, but to have Denver at number 1 is just laughable.
What?
It's no.
So who would you have at 1? The Rams?
It's almost like I don't.
It's after week 11. Is what I see.
I get it, and you need glasses.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Man,
these freaking
terrible,
glasses.
Terrible.
Denver is going to disappoint. They are
after week 11.
I get it. I can't put them. I look at overall. After,
and I'm looking at them overall. They're 9-2, undefeated at home. Bo Nix is having a good year.
I love Bo Nix, and I said that before.
So who would you have at 1?
I just I don't even know.
Okay,
I don't even know. I put the Rams at 1. I really would.
I would
put the Rams at 1.
Okay.
I'll lead the Patriots, which I can't stand
at 2.
At 2,
and
I put Denver at 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. I'm cool with that.
I can't put Denver at 1. I just can't. No.
Okay. We have I know we won't be here next week, unfortunately. And I do know that next week is Thanksgiving. Happy early Thanksgiving, which we'll be here again next Wednesday or the day before Thanksgiving. So you will get to see us one more time before the holiday break. And we have the Ohio State Buckeyes next Saturday.
Yes, we do.
And if memory serves me correctly, we're 4-0 in the last 4 years.
No Mace this year.
And
no Mace.
No Mace. No Mace. The game is at the big house, the best house, because, Michigan's already went into that place they call the horseshoe, but we call it the horse shit. Ohio State was ranked number 2 in the country, and they were the favorite. Michigan came into town and beat them on the road, and they went, if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't have won a national championship. But they do say history tends to repeat itself. And if history is going to tend to repeat itself, then Ohio State will lose against Michigan again 5 years in a row, and then they'll go on and win back-to-back national championships.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I do want to give a special shout-out to my brother Hawk. He made me this really dope hat. Teddy Maduro, cigar enthusiast since 2017. Stay smoky. It's got some patches on there. He's got a nice little angry bear with a cigar in his mouth with his hat. I do smoke cigars. I brought some for Chris, our producer. But I just want to say that actually I'm going to save this for a particular time before we end tonight's episode. But episode 41, get ready to end this thing. Live in Toronto, Canada, 1990 Studios. Bryant, final remarks. Give me your takeaway from just the build up to the episode, the drive, getting here, meeting Chris for the first time, and then putting this all together and doing our first episode. And it damn sure won't be our last in studio here in Toronto, Canada.
My ass is numb again.
Give me final words, man.
That is my final word.
All right.
I've been sitting down for 8 hours. So, what do you think my ass is gonna feel like?
Angry
it
black
feels,
man.
It feels like rubber.
Angry black man.
What the hell? Let's go.
All right. Well, my closing remarks as we sign off episode 41. I want to just say thank you to Bryant, to Chris at 1990 Studios for the work that they have put in week and week out with us. We've been grinding this thing out. We're almost approaching a year of doing this thing of the Rewind, brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. It's been a hell of a journey. We're just having fun with it. We've been blessed to have some really great guests. We're going to continue to get great guests on as we go on this thing. I mean, the month of December, we got a pretty good lineup for you guys to start. We won't disclose just yet, but I'm just truly blessed that that God has aligned me with a bright mind like Chris, who was our third producer in our search for the Rewind. I had an idea, I had a vision, I had all the pieces together, and we got together and talked in November of last year. And fast forward to January of 2025, the Rewind launched, and we just been doing this thing ever since. So personally, for me, it's been a emotional but more gratitude feeling, because having the opportunity to come to Canada for the first time, I've never been. And Chris for opening his doors for us to come in here and do an episode. It's just been truly a blessing. So I want to say thank you personally, Chris, 1990 Studios. I want to say thank you, Bryant. We started this thing in 2020 after I didn't get the internship with Fox Sports, and we just did it in the basement with none of what we have today in terms of production, in terms of how we just do things on a week in and week out basis. But fast forward to 2025. We're here live in Toronto, Canada, 1990 Studios. So thank you, and thank God for that.
No problem.
If you haven't, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Rewind_GSC3, as well as follow us on all of our social media platforms at the Rewind_GSC3. You can catch this on Apple Podcasts as well for all my audio podcasters out there, as well as Spotify. We are on TikTok as well, and we're growing that brand. We're growing that channel. So everything's a grind. We're going to keep grinding this thing out until the wheels fall off, until I get tired, or maybe if Brian's ass gets a little bit more comfortable. Maybe I should invest in one of those like old senior citizen seats that people sit on, so that way their butt feels cushiony for a few hours. Yeah, we'll talk about that another day. But all grace to the good Lord to come to the studio. I want to give a special thank you to Chris in 1990 Studios for all the work he does.
Pause.
Giving him his flowers and giving him his grace. Thank you, brother. I want to give a special thank you to Pat, to all our GSC3 admins on Facebook, our moderators. Thank you for keeping the group rolling. We're over 1,700 members strong. doing the damn thing week in and week out. And it's funny when someone tells you that you're not doing enough, right? Ain't that funny when someone says that, when you're not doing enough?
Yeah.
Just look at God's grace. Episode 42 next week. You know where to find us. Same time, same place. YouTube Live, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you. And as I always do before I sign off, Chris, can I get a solo shot, please, before I go? As I say always after every episode before I go, go Blue. See you guys next week.
Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me,